Moving is always a pain, but this time it felt different, more exciting. There was a sense of new beginnings, a fresh start. The thrill of having a space to call my own was exhilarating.
I was moving into my very own apartment. No more roommates, no more sharing, just me and my stuff. I could decorate it however I wanted, play my music as loud as I liked, and finally have some peace and quiet. It was a dream come true.
The apartment was on the top floor of an old building. It had creaky floors and a weird smell, but it was mine. The high ceilings and large windows gave it a charming vintage feel. Despite its quirks, I could see the potential for it to become a cozy sanctuary.
I started unpacking boxes, eager to make the place feel like home. Each item I placed felt like a step closer to creating my own little haven. I imagined hosting friends, cozy nights in, and the freedom to be myself. That's when I saw it. A door I hadn't noticed before. At the end of the hallway, a door. It wasn't on the floor plan. I hadn't noticed it before. What was it hiding? My curiosity was piqued. I hesitated for a moment, wondering if I should open it. What secrets could this old building be keeping behind that door? The door was ancient. Thick wood, painted a dark, depressing green. The paint was peeling, revealing the wood underneath. It looked like it hadn't been opened in decades. The doorknob was brass, tarnished with age. The keyhole was untouched, covered in dust. It sent shivers down my spine. Why was this door here? I tried the knob. Locked. Of course it was locked. What was I expecting? I had to know what was behind it.
I knocked on my neighbor's door. Mrs. Henderson, a sweet old lady, answered. She seemed surprised to see me.
Excuse me, Mrs. Henderson. I was wondering about that door at the end of the hall.
Her eyes widened.
That door? Oh, that door's always been there. Nobody uses it.
Do you know what's behind it?
She hesitated.
Best not to worry about it, dear. Just leave it be.
Her reaction made my skin crawl. What was she hiding?
Section 4. The curiosity grows. I tried to forget about the door. I really did. But it was impossible. The mystery of it consumed me. Why was it there? What was behind it? I imagined all sorts of things. A secret room, a hidden treasure, or something more sinister. Days turned into nights. I couldn't sleep. The door was always there at the back of my mind, taunting me. I had to know the truth. Section 5. A Night of Suspense. It was a night unlike any other, filled with an eerie sense of foreboding. One night, a storm raged outside. The sky was alive with flashes of lightning, illuminating the dark, ominous clouds. Rain lashed against the windows, creating a relentless, rhythmic drumming that echoed through the empty halls. Wind howled through the old building, its mournful wails seeping through the cracks and crevices, making the structure groan in response. I lay in bed, unable to sleep. The door. My mind raced with thoughts of what could be lurking in the shadows. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every creak and groan of the house seemed amplified, feeding my growing anxiety. Then I heard it. Footsteps. They echoed through the hallway, each step deliberate and measured. Slow, deliberate footsteps coming from the hallway. They were getting closer, each step sending a shiver down my spine. My heart pounded in my chest, a frantic drumbeat that matched the rhythm of the approaching footsteps. The footsteps stopped outside my door, then a knock, a slow, deliberate knock. Terror gripped me, freezing me in place. I froze, paralyzed with fear. My mind raced, but my body refused to move. The night seemed to stretch on endlessly, each second an eternity. Section 6. Unanswered Questions. Who was at my door? The question echoed in my mind, refusing to let me rest. The night was still, but my thoughts were anything but. Was it connected to the mysterious door at the end of the hall? I didn't know. The door had always been there, a silent guardian of secrets, but tonight it felt different, almost alive with a presence I couldn't explain, but I was too scared to find out. The knocking stopped. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat louder than the last. I strained my ears, hoping to catch any sound, any clue. The footsteps retreated down the hallway. They were slow, deliberate, as if the person knew I was listening. Each step seemed to mock my fear, daring me to follow. I lay awake all night, listening. The silence was deafening, filled with the weight of unanswered questions. My mind raced, conjuring images of who or what could have been at my door. But there were no more sounds. The house was still, but my thoughts were a whirlwind. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The next morning, I wanted to ask Mrs. Henderson about the footsteps. She had lived in the building longer than anyone. Surely she would know something. But when I knocked on her door, there was no answer. I knocked again, louder this time, but the silence was all I received. It was as if she had vanished overnight. The mystery of the door remained. It loomed at the end of the hallway, a constant reminder of the unknown. What lay behind it? Why did it feel so ominous? And I was left with more questions than answers. Each one gnawed at me, pulling me deeper into a web of uncertainty. I needed to know the truth, but fear held me back. What secrets did it hold? The door seemed to whisper to me, its secrets just out of reach. I could feel its pull, a magnetic force drawing me closer. And would I ever be brave enough to find out? The question lingered, a challenge I wasn't sure I could meet. But one thing was certain, I couldn't ignore it forever. The answers were out there, waiting for me to uncover them.